For Arlene, what methodologies would you employ to further promote FMA training among the diaspora and to get more women in FMA not only in the tactical community or self-defense community, but in popular media such as comic, film, television, and please mention movies.
You're challenging my English. My nose is bleeding already, but okay, I'm gonna try. So I think the key here is to create a sustainable ecosystem around FMA that honors both the warrior path and the deeper cultural aspects of the art. So I'm thinking, okay, three core pillars of this idea. First one, access to training. We have to ensure that the people who can step into FMA without feeling intimidated or being pushed out by gatekeeping. The second one would be creative pathways to advancement. So the people who are committed to FMA must have access to mentorship, to growth opportunities, to teaching opportunities, leadership positions in the FMA community, skills progression, etc. And then the third one would be space to lead. Especially in women, we must not just participate in FMA. We have to take part in shaping it. And what that means is that we must have the freedom and the support to bring in our perspective and our insight, our creativity into the art. I think just a short personal story. Grand Tuhon did not really just encourage me to teach Pekiti Tirsia. He encouraged me to contribute to the community. So having said that, after I think maybe after 10 years, I decided to publish my work called Visualizing Flow. It's a workbook in Pekiti Tirsia, and it focused mainly on combat geometry. So I just like drawing these lines and what I see whenever I train, and the reason why I remember all of them is because I see lines whenever I'm doing stuff, and then I also create matrices for the movements instead of writing notes because I forget what they mean, and so I just created my own code, and so now I'm teaching my students how to code and decode these movements so that they can easily remember them. But anyway, so having said that, when I did that, I wasn't really releasing a resource out there. What I was trying to do too was that I was just taking my place into this lineage and providing a meaningful contribution to the FMA community. So anyway, all of these three pillars, they can be connected through the thread of representation in the media. If you see a Filipino or Filipina that's portrayed as a warrior, or if FMA or our artists and our choreographers are recognized for their contribution and influence in the stories that we love, right? They create a strong message. And what is that message? That your culture is your power, or that you are not invisible, and that you can be a part of this too. So anyway, another segue is that FMA is actually not just fighting with laser sticks. It's more than that. There's a metaphysical or mystical and spiritual side to FMA that we really don't talk about much. And FMA at its core is a path to connection. It's a connection to your heritage, a connection to your ancestors, connection to your intuition, your purpose. And that's a part of warrior culture. That's a part of FMA still. So if we're talking about women, and I'm just going to focus there, if we're talking about women in Filipino martial arts, we have to expand the frame. Because strength just doesn't show in combat. It actually, in our culture, women actually are warriors in their own right, through motherhood, through teaching, through healing, through resistance, through your self-expression, right? And so if we look back again and ask the question, how do we promote? If we promote to FMA and in the diaspora, then we should change the message. It's not come fight. The message must be come and take your power, take your place, however it looks for you. Because when we invite people who are drawn to this culture and to this art fully, we are not just creating fighters, we're actually building a breathing, living culture that reflects all aspects of who we are.
I